Hey folks, we are back for another episode of It's Consulting Time, where we are always bringing you a plethora of creatives, innovators, and leaders from around the globe. Purpose over popularity is our motto, and we never fail to leave you with joy, jewels, and justice. Let's chat with our special guest.
What it do, people? All right. So, guys, okay, a couple of weeks ago, over on the Instagram live side, we had Miss Michele DiMeo. And guys, if you don't know who Michele is, she's Michele with one L, and she is a restaurant diva. She's the restaurant diva and entrepreneur. And so, she has a couple of different things going on. Okay, so I need to break this down for you. So not only is she the co-founder of the Monte Restaurant Development Group and the Squisito franchise, she legit has a couple of different things going on. She started out with the LA Weight Loss Center, right? And then she started to work. And lo and behold, she has created an enterprise, a conglomerate. And so we're going to kind of talk a little bit tonight about, how she developed these things. But like I said, now we've been there before with Michele. But tonight we're actually going to dive into some specifics relative to business strategy and things of that nature. So without further ado, let me go ahead and bring out Miss Michele DiMeo. Hello, darling.
How are you?
I am great. So Michele, some of the people know who you are, but for the people that don't know who you are, let them know who you are and why you are the restaurant diva.
I will. Well, first I want to say hi. I haven't talked to you in a month.
I know.
Can you believe it's been a month?
You know what? I would say no, but Michele, it's been busy, and I know you've been busy.
It's been so busy. We've done so much, I'll have to tell you. But so yes, restaurant diva, Michele DiMeo from Annapolis, Maryland. I didn't even realize my background. I got my family behind me. Woo! And behind you are all your awards. I need some awards behind me like you, Lily.
Oh, you got, listen, look. Those degrees that I'm paying for, yeah.
Anyway, but yes, back here, excited to be back and talk all things restaurant and wine and restaurant diva and press and PR and all the stuff we've been doing and new things coming up the pipeline. But excited to be back.
Yes. So Michele, let's dive right in. So just for the people, just to give them a recap, explain to them a little bit about kind of how you transition to, because you guys, let me tell you something. She's not just a business guru. She's educated, like highly educated. She has been through a couple of different things. And so we're gonna start off with her graduating from Michigan State University and that transition into entrepreneurship.
Yeah. So originally grew up in New Jersey, believe it or not, started at Fairleigh Dickinson, decided to go into psychology of corporate law. So I wanted to do something in the psychology range and then kind of transition to business, and knew that I wanted to eventually go into the law industry. It's funny growing up, and you probably, I don't know if you remember the movie or not, but First Monday in October, I watched it when I'm not even going to tell you my age because that's going to give away my age. But I think I was 12 or 13, and I sat there and I said, my God, one day I want to be a Supreme Court justice. And that was like my end-all, be-all goal, right? And decided, you know what, that's what I want to do. I want to be a lawyer. And decided to start off on that realm. Decided to go and studied at Rutgers and Fairleigh Dickinson. And then work kind of took me to Michigan. I was working full-time at the same time as I was going to school, and wound up transferring over to Michigan State and graduated there and did research for the school in the psychology department, which was really cool. Had a key to the school, which was interesting. And graduated with a psychology and corporate business degree, and then wanted to go on to law school and started law classes in Michigan until I moved back to Maryland. So interesting background. I don't know how that relates to the restaurant business, but it does because I use everything, my accounting, my legal, my schooling in some way, shape, or form in this world. I think my psychology degree is used the most with my cray-cray people, but I feel like it counts there every day. But But yeah, kind of different background. So psychology of corporate law, and did a little bit of accounting and a little bit of corporate world, and then moved into private sector with my own company here doing the restaurant thing. Uh-oh, I lost you. Oh, there you
No,
go.
it was me. It was me.
Oh,
It was me. I was on mute.
Oh no, because you know.
I was on mute. Okay. So guys, so Michele is definitely a diva. She's not just a restaurant diva, honey. She loves fashion, baby. She loves her slip back with her glasses and her jewelry. She loves all of it. But Michele,
yeah,
business.
Yeah.
Business. Now, when you started realizing, right, you had the LA weight loss center, we know that.
Yeah.
But talk to us about what the planning looked like when you decided to start the Monte Restaurant Development Group. What did that look like?
Yeah, so it's funny that we talk about this because we started my book yesterday. So I'm writing a book. I think I told you the last time.
You did, and we had, well, you couldn't tell me the title, but yeah, you told me.
So we started writing the book yesterday, and we're writing the prelude, and we're going and we're doing the dedication in chapter 1. And the ghostwriter that's helping me write this, because it's a biography, it's about my life and where we started, and I had to tell him the story. And I didn't create the Monte Restaurant Development Group. I created Squisito Franchise Enterprises, which is so we have 2 corporate entities. So we have the Monte Restaurant Development Group, which is, it manages our corporate profile and companies. And then we have Squisito Franchise, which manages, and it's the managing entity and franchisor for all the franchise locations. And my partner and my husband, Gennaro, started the Monte Restaurant Development Group way back before I was even working with him. And it's funny because when I was telling this story, my very good friend and my partner, Stephanie, she was listening, and she said, I feel like I'm listening to a real podcast, because I was going on and on and on about how we met and how it all started. And I kind of fell into this business because, I'm not a restaurateur, right? But if you're a good business person and you have great background and you have great skills, like we talked about, and education and true proper foundation, it really can translate, and you can use it really in any industry. And, whether I was counseling weight loss and helping people lose thousands of pounds and teaching them how to eat, or teaching them what to eat in the restaurant world, isn't that funny, going from counseling to the restaurant world? It really does cross over as long as you have those fundamental skills, and that's what I did. And that background's really helped me across the board. But to answer your question, Gennaro started the Monte Restaurant Development Group back with his brother and a partner years ago. He came over here when he was 15, didn't speak a word of English, came from Monte de Procida, which is a small town in Naples, right across from Ischia, beautiful, beautiful area. And decided he wanted to live the American dream, wanted to get out of a small town, and came over here with great business sense and a dreamer and a great concept, and decided to build these brands. And, he's the restaurateur and he's the restaurant guy, but I'm the restaurant diva, and I'm the business behind it, the face, the PR, the excitement, the design. And like you said, I love design, I love fashion. So I bring a lot of that to the table with all of our brands. So excited, yes. Business, lots of cool stuff going on.
So, Michele, let's just go there, because you're a wife, you're a mom, you're a CEO, you're someone's supervisor.
A lot.
You're an author. How do you prioritize your day? Not your week, not your life. How do you prioritize your day? If you could give some best practices for the other moms that are doing this, and wives, how are you, what are some of the things you do?
Yeah. It's so important to be I'm a ultra planner, hyper organized person. You have to be so organized. I mean, I have my calendar plate. I mean, if you saw my day to day, you would have said, oh my God, how'd you do this? From getting up, taking Vivi to school, picking up Vivi from school. The Blue Angels are here. I don't know if you're familiar with the Academy in Annapolis, but this is a huge week for us. This is commission week, and the Naval Academy, the graduating class is commissioning. So all our restaurants are crazy busy inundated with catering orders. And so, the traffic here is crazy. And then, you're dealing with the Blue Angels all over the place and people stopping to look at them. And I mean, crazy day. So like, to talk about a typical day in my world, it's mom, Uber driver, get home, from taking her from school, picking her up from school, working out, doing my thing, answering my emails, taking her to a doctor appointment, then coming back, picking Janara up from the airport. Like, there's so many things you have to juggle. And then in between that, getting to the office, handling all the catering, holding down all the fort, making sure all the stores are good, doing this tonight. And then the second I leave here, we have 9 huge parties at Tuscan Prime for Commission Week and graduation. One of them's pretty big. It's, from the Naval Academy, a group coming over that are retired pilots, and I won't tell you from what, but some exciting things going on. So, just going from one thing to another. And the only way to really do that is to be organized, to plan things out, have lists, follow up. I mean, I learned that at an early age. It's funny because, Alana, my oldest, says that all the time. She's always like, I need to know what I'm doing because I got to plan ahead. And she's got that same A personality trait. So in order to fit it all in, you got to know what you want. You got to prioritize, like you said, put the important things first. Never lose sight of your end goal of what you want to do. And then, check off all the boxes, make sure you hit them all. And, the one thing that's so important is make sure nothing's done, 50%. You got to do it 100%. It's got to be right. And it's got to be 100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right. So guys, you got to organize. You got to prioritize, but you have to make sure that you're putting your all in. So Michele, in the grand scheme of things, and guys, she has some other projects we're going to talk about, but in the grand scheme of things, do you believe like there is some sort of pattern or formula to become a successful entrepreneur such as yourself?
So it's funny. I listened to a podcast. My daughter turned me on to it. At the end, he always asks, is it luck? Or is it you? Is it skill, right? So it makes you think about that because, sometimes it is luck. I mean, people, are at the right place at the right time. They meet the right person puts them, how do you become famous? You meet the right person, you have great skills because everybody has the innate inability to be able to be famous or to be a superstar, to be a president or to own their own company. But it's what you do with that to get there. And I truly believe for me, I work my tush off. I mean, I work 7 days a week. I put 14 hours in. I mean, my day won't end tonight until 11 o'clock, 10:30. And then I go home and I'm mommy and I'm putting Vivi to bed, reading her stories if she's still awake when I get home. Usually she is because she waits up for me. And then, I do my thing then. I have things I have to do or pack or get ready for my next day. And so, for somebody that really wants to do it, and for anybody listening out there, if you have dreams, go for those dreams because everybody has the ability to do it. Everybody knows somebody that can put them in touch with the right person. Like everybody always says, look, your A's and B's, but you want to know the C's and the D's. And somebody that that's an A knows the D that can get you to where you want to be. Write it down. Write down your goals. Write down your 1 year, your 3 year, your 5 year plan, and then shoot for it. I mean, everybody can do it. So for me, if somebody asks me the question, is it luck or is it skill? For me, I really think I work hard. Nothing's lucky for me. And, nothing's been given to me. I work hard for everything I have. Absolutely. Everything I do.
Wow. Michele,
I'm a go-getter. I don't stop.
Well, and that was the thing that I think I loved in our brief interview because the energy and the ability for you to sit and guys, she's in the same spot. So I know this is her office. I know this is where she makes office. Yep, this is where she makes the magic happen. And God, we have to be so very mindful, but thankful at the same time that she's able to even sit here and talk with us because she has a restaurant full of parties. And y'all already know where there are parties, there are going to be some problems. Somebody's going to have a problem with something. You already know how that goes. But Michele, what I love is you actually are out in your restaurant. And I'm saying this because I visited an establishment not too long ago. My friend and I were invited to visit an establishment, and we were invited by the owner. So, if the owner invites you somewhere, I'm like, okay, they're gonna be hands-on. And
I guess it wasn't like that.
you feel we had to tell the manager, hey, would you tell the owner that we came by? We told them we were coming and we came by. And it just kind of made me think, there's nothing going on in here. There's not that many people in here. Where are you? Why aren't you mingling with the people that are here? So, Michele, talk to us a little bit about kind of the importance of being a CEO and being able to be touched, so to speak.
Yeah. So what's really important to me, and I think that's where initially there is a little bit of a challenge, because you can only do so much, and I'm very much a hands-on person, and especially with Tuscan Prime in the restaurants. I mean, I'm there every day. When you come, I will not be here because I already warned you I'm going to be traveling that week. But I'm on the floor. I'm at the door. It's important for me for the guests to have the most amazing experience. And I'm all about the experience. And I preach this to everybody. You can go anywhere and get good food, but good food is good food. You can go and get a pizza here, a salad here, pasta here, but you can't get that experience. And people eat atmosphere, they eat experience, and they care about, from the time they walk in the door to the time they leave, that they're treated, they're picking where they spend their money. They choose where they want to dine, where they want to spend their money, where they want to shop. Why do you think people spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on designer brands? Because they want to feel special. They want to feel amazing. They want to look good in it, feel good in it, eat it, feel great. And that's important to me. So, I make sure from the time they enter the door till the time they leave that they have that experience. And if they don't, I'm there making sure that that happens. And if I can't be there, I check the reservations every day and I look at every guest. And, if it's somebody that, to your point, if it's somebody I invite, or I call my manager and I'm like, you make that so special for them. You visit the table, you send them over a glass of champagne, whatever it is to make them feel like an invited guest in your home. You never want them to feel like an unexpected visitor. And, we're at a point now, and it's a good problem to have, and I'm not complaining, but today we were inundated. I'm not even lying when I tell you this week we've gotten requests for over 2,200 covers for private events. And it's horrible to be able to tell people no. I have Friday night, I literally had 9 people that I had to call tonight that are parties of 20 or more. That I'm like, I'm sorry, we're booked. We're on a waiting list. And it's a good problem to have, but it's a bad problem to have, because you never want to turn anybody away or upset anybody, because that's a potential guest that you lose, So that leads to the next thing, and I think I mentioned this to you the last time we spoke, but that's one of the reasons why we are expanding Tuscan Prime. We're expanding close to DC, to National Harbor. That's our new project.
Yes.
Yes. So doing another big restaurant, which, I'm going to be painting my hair even more, because the more grays every time we open a restaurant.
It's going to be beautiful.
But it's all good. It's all good. So yeah, that's our new project. We're getting ready to open up a second location. It will open middle to end of next year. Really very similar to the concept that we have here in Annapolis, but a little different vibe, more fun for the DC market. But so important, like you said. I mean, I'm up front. That's my favorite part of my business. It's where I started, at LA Weight Loss. Even though I was a regional VP and a supervisor and opened up tons of stores, I still went into every single office and counseled people and helped them lose weight and sat down with them and sold them their products and talked to them. And it's funny, I got to just tell you a quick little story that you brought this up. Very good friend of mine who was my manager there, now one of my closest friends, Gloria, she was running the store one time. And, here I come with my suit. And like you said, I like to look good in my fashion. And she looked at me as she walked in, and she used to call me Sparkle Barbie. And she said, oh, look at this Sparkle Barbie coming in, and what's she going to do? And she can't sell anything, and blah, blah. And I was like, you watch me, girl. And I went in, and because one of the things for me is it's very important for me to know my business, know it better than anybody else, and be hands-on to be able to do it better than who you're teaching. Because you have to coach, you have to lead by example. You got to be able to do it, make it happen, fake it till you make it, and make that experience amazing. So my favorite thing is to be right there with the guest, right up front, on the floor, running the board, talking to people, schmoozing, hostess with the mostess,
That's it. So guys, listen, Michele is always going to give you some good information, but we have to now begin to transition into something spectacular. So,
Okay.
Michele, as we begin to wind up, let's talk about what you have new that is popping up on the scene.
Okay, so we have a couple things. So I mentioned to you that we launched our own wine because I'm also, in addition to everything that you mentioned in the beginning, I also import my own grapes out of Veneto, Italy. So we have 3 private SKUs that we did for the Tuscan Prime label that we're getting ready to do Restaurant Diva, which I'm so excited. So Restaurant Diva launched right before COVID. And now I'm doing a lot of PR around there. I just did a cover of a magazine that's coming out this month, which you'll get to see. I'm getting ready to do another cover this weekend. So I'm doing other modeling in my old age, my middle age. So we have the wine label that I'm getting ready to launch for Restaurant Diva. My new website is launching this week, which I'm so excited. I've been working really hard on. My partner and I are launching our podcast, so we're excited about that. Exciting industry and law, so you're going to get a little bit of the industry and the vibe, and then
Wow, okay, that's going to be dope.
Oh yeah, so we're getting ready to launch that. It's going to launch in June. So basically, it's an industry perspective and a legal perspective. So I'm going to bring the business industry along with our guest, and then my partner is going to bring the legal perspective.
Okay.
So you'll get both sides. So industry versus
Yeah.
so really cool. So that's going to be launching shortly. Website's going up, launching my own line of merchandise. So Restaurant Diva merchandise, which I'll have to send you some really cool stuff. We just got all the samples done, and we're working on design.
Okay.
And wine and some new restaurants coming down the alleyway. So lots going on. Keep them busy. I call it my, they say you work one job to get where you want to be in your 20s. Your 30s, you're hitting like your success line. Your 40s, you kind of reinvent yourself and decide you need to go on a vacation. Then you hit your 50s, like, man, you need another career and figure out what's career 2.
That's it.
My third job.
That's it. That's it. You need listen, and you know what? We never stop working. And guys, I think the beauty in talking with Michele is that Michele legit could sit down if she wants to, but she still has more to do, and she enjoys doing what she's doing, and she's always evolving. And so, Michele, what I would like for you to do right now is give us 3 tips for success as you transition into the next level, whatever level that may be, because I think that the reality is that there are some things that you have to do, or I would say key activities that entrepreneurs need to invest their time in. If you can provide us with 3 as we get ready to close out.
Okay. So first I would say, don't ever stop believing in yourself. So if you can dream it, you can do it. If you can build it, they'll come, so it's really important to believe in everything that you have inside. And if you really are passionate about something, don't let somebody tell you no. So dream it and believe it. Don't accept no, because there's somebody out there that can help you do it and get you where you want to be, because you can do it. And I would say 3, for me, there's a lot. Stay super organized, because the more organized you are and the more you plan, the more you can fit in your day. So like my day never ends. So I'm always creative, and I wake up in the middle of the night. I think I told you this before. Ideas pop in my head. I mean, I created my whole book in the middle of the night, and I woke up and I was like, oh, I could do this. And then I start sending emails and type in and whatever. So, it's really being organized and really putting everything down on paper and setting those goals. Like I told you, those 1 year, the 3 year, the 5 year. So dream it, believe it, don't accept no, and stay really strict to those goals. The 1 year, the 3 year, the 5 year, and you can do it. I mean, girl power, man. This is the time to do it. It used to be a man's world. It's funny because the song that I was picking when I was working on my reality show, Reels, was "It's a Man's World," and here I am, Michele DiMeo, walking in my stiletto heels, my red bottoms, and being this into the more fashion type vibe. But it's not a man's world anymore. Women are taking over the restaurant industry and the wine industry and accounting worlds, and you're seeing more women entrepreneurs
in positions of authority. You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Wow.
So do it. So get out there and do it. You're never too old to do what you want to do.
Yes. Guys, Michele is everywhere. So go right now. Follow her on at Tuscan Prime on Instagram. Follow her at restaurant_diva_ on Instagram.
And check out the website. It's coming this week. I'm hoping tomorrow it will be up. Restaurantdiva.com.
So restaurantdiva.com, and once she gets it, I'll come back and put it in the comments. Guys, if you're watching in real time or if you're watching 2 weeks later, it doesn't matter. Make sure you check out www.restaurantdiva.com. Michele, thank you so much. And guess what? I'm coming, you'll be gone, but I'll be back again around the holiday. So I will. I definitely will. I will. And because we're going to have, now look, we got a nice size family, so we might have to come back out the whole Tuscan Prime.
Sounds good.
And we know good eating around these parts.
Well, we do well. Don't worry.
Yes. Well, good seeing you as always. Michele, thank you so much for coming on and giving us that fashion vibe, that energy, and really and truly giving us some amazing pointers. And this is the MD Mashup. This is Michele DiMeo, and we're going to bring you Michelle Dukes in a few minutes.
Ciao for now.
Bye, darling.
Cheers. See you soon.
Guys, we're going to bring out Michelle Dukes in just a minute, so hold your horses. All righty, and we are back. So, guys, let me tell you a little bit about the young lady that we're getting ready to bring out. Like I said, this is the battle of the Michelles, and so, interestingly, we're going to talk about something called Papi's Bourbon, and Papi's Bourbon is a Black female-owned brand, right? Now, pure Kentucky straight bourbon, 80 proof whiskey. Now, y'all know your girl don't drink, but I know about some baby. I know about 80 proof. Y'all know I come from the moonshine bootlegging area. So if this whiskey is 80 proof, Michelle Duke's trying to turn y'all all the way up. So let me bring her out. And she got, girl, you got on what my mother used to call your go to hell hat, honey. Yeah. So, Michelle, welcome, my dear.
Hi, how are you?
I am amazing, just utterly amazing. Michelle, introduce yourself to the audience and then give us a little background on how you cultivated, the how and why you cultivated Papi's Bourbon.
Okay, no problem. Well, my name is Michele Dukes, and I have a brand called Papi's, and I dedicated it to the life of my grandfather and my father. That's why it's called Papi's with an S, so it's Papi's. And basically, my grandfather used to make moonshine down in Arlington, Kentucky, which is a very small town. All the neighbors used to come far and near to get some of that moonshine. He was really big time, but they ran him up out of there. They tried to kill him. So he ran from state to state, running for his life, and he added an S on the back of our name. He changed his birthday, eventually moved to Los Angeles, where his brother and the family opened up one of the first Black-owned bars in the Crenshaw district. Really? It was called the Duke's Living Room. It's still there today. We do not own it, but I have a history of being in the spirits industry. So I would take what they've been doing, which was the moonshine and the bootlegging, and now I brought it into a position where it's legal. So it feels really good. It's very exciting. I feel like they're looking down from the heavens and they're just so proud to see something that they worked so hard and almost lost their life trying to protect themselves, through the process. So it is a very exciting time. I'm excited. I'm in a lot of stores and restaurants, and my goal is to take Papi's around the world, every store, every restaurant, every state, which will create jobs, opportunities, and blessings for all of us to enjoy.
Michelle, you know what? Thank you for telling this story. And I say that simply because I don't think people really understand that so many of our grandparents and great grandparents, that was their industry.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't realize that that's how many of our folks got into NASCAR. Do you
Mm-hmm.
follow me?
Yes.
From the bootlegging out of Danville, Virginia. I'm just saying. And so one of the things that I love to hear are the stories of legacy. We talk in a world where everything is about being popular. But Michelle, you took something that legitimately is somewhat traumatic, because let's just be real. You know the story.
Right.
So I know that replays in your mind,
Yes.
as you're going on this journey. And people may not be out to get you as they were for them back then, but in essence, the world is designed that way, right?
Right.
So, Michelle, what are some of the things that you kind of do to protect your product?
Hmm. Well, first of all, I watch who I do business with, because who you do business with and who you lay down, I call that getting in bed with them. You got to watch who you get in bed with. You know what I mean? You got to make sure they don't got a STD they about to try to get you. But the reason I use that joke is to say, you do business with someone, you think everything is great, you sign a contract, and now you find out this person you wish you never met before. As it pertains to business. So for me, I try to stay away from that, stay away from a slick talker. And I let my energy, my vibe, my higher being let me know who to do business with. So if I'm talking to someone and something within me says leave them alone, I listen. I just leave them alone. If I feel like there's something shady going on, then it probably is. And whatever it is, I don't need to know nothing about. So I kind of protect myself in that way. Um, I make sure when I'm doing business, I do the business. I don't do the talking. What am I saying? I don't get on social media and tell the world, hey, today I'm about to do X, Y, Z. I execute it and then I do it. And then I come back with the results if I choose to share.
Ooh, you know what? Can you say that one more time? You do the business. So let me get this straight. So you don't get on social media and be like, "Oh, big things coming."
Never, never.
Understood.
And never. I don't do that for several reasons. One thing is, the Bible says, don't let your left hand know what the right is
What the
doing.
right
Right?
hand is doing.
That is it. So you never know, you can have friends and family, but they don't believe in themselves. So how can they believe in you? So you there telling them your dreams and they hang up and call such and such. Oh, I don't believe they gonna make it. That, it's hogwash or whatever they're gonna say about it, right? So I eliminate the naysayers because they don't know what's going on. You can't naysay if you don't know nothing. So you don't know nothing about what's going on, right? And I make sure I do a good job. I handle it in a professional way. And when I'm done doing what I have to do, then I may share the results. The key word is may. Certain things I never share, other things I do. If I'm in a new store, of course I'm going to share it. I want them to go out and enjoy some poppies, right? But if it's something where I'm working towards a goal, I'm taking certain classes and I'm still working towards it, I don't necessarily share right away. You just never know what kind of energy people throw at you. Now, they can't stop you because, greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world.
That's
So
in
they
the
can't
world. That's
stop you,
it.
baby. They
That's
can't
it.
they can't stop. What's meant for you is for you. But let me tell you something. You and I both know everybody that's smiling in your face is not smiling with you. So the smartest thing to do is to brace yourself and cover yourself and be your own biggest cheerleader. Because if you're looking for somebody else to cheer you on, baby, you're going to have a sloped overhead and you're going to be sad because they don't know how to cheer themselves on. So,
That's real. Oh my gosh, Michelle, that is so real. And guys, I think it's so important, the industry that you're in, so many people are developing, spirits. They're developing these lines. And I think that it's more of a fad. So to hear from you, someone who does have an actual, you were born into it for real. You were
absolutely.
born into it. You already had the formula. And I think the beautiful thing is that you were able to flip it into something that would be lucrative for you and legacy for, you know, your family. And I love that. I love that. Now, when you think about, you know, your brand and you think about kind of what you're doing with business, what would you say has been your most satisfying moment in business?
Wow. I want to say one of my most satisfying moments was when, well, so many of them, but I'll just throw a couple out there real quick.
Okay.
I was out and people start chanting poppies, poppies, and these people though didn't know me. They knew me from social media and they had seen the brand. So to see that it spiraled into a thing where someone who didn't really even know you, not a friend of mine, someone I don't know, is chanting the brand, it just speaks mouth like it speaks mouthful of how far you can go and you don't even know. There's someone watching in
Mhm.
Alaska right now that saw the brand that I don't know, as an example. And so I think that meant a lot. And then the other thing I think that just really meant a lot is that I did a show at Madison Square Gardens with Mike Epps. And when I got to Madison Square Gardens, you know, that's somewhere I thought I'd never be. I know that sounds strange, but I just never thought of it. Not
Yeah.
that it wasn't a goal of mine either. It was somewhere to me that superstars are at, and they are there and they go on stage. And I had the opportunity to go on stage and to also host his VIP. And that moment was like so real to me, like wow. And then the second fold of that night I had a dream about my father and my grandfather, and they were happy and they were partying and they saw it and they were excited. And I think at that moment I thought, wow, they're watching everything happening, because that was the second time they've come to me since this thing has started. They came to me the minute I received the product in its pallets. I had a dream. They came to see me. And then the night of the Madison Square Garden. So it just shows you that someone in heaven, my father, my grandfather, they're down here rooting for me. So, hey, that's the greatest thing that you
Won't they show up just when you need them most? Won't they show up? They show up for the confirmation.
can.
They
Yes.
show up for the confirmation. Yes. So, Michelle, who has been your greatest inspiration? We know your father and your grandfather definitely catalyzed and impacted you, but who else would you say has been your greatest inspiration?
My greatest inspiration is God. You know, God, if I had not had God on my side, I do not know where I would be. I don't know
Indeed.
where I would be, honestly, sister. God has kept me for
Yeah.
such a time as this. And everything that I've been through, my life is a testimony.
Yes.
People look at people, they don't know where what they've been through. But God kept me. So if I'm gonna give anybody some glory right now, I'm gonna give it to the one and only true living God. And
Wow. Listen, and I get so filled up because you say that, and I think about the words of Helen Baylor's song when she said, if it had not been for the Lord on my side, tell me where would I be. But then in the verse, it gets so deep, Michelle, and I think that's what's so important. And guys, under the sound of my voice, it's so important to understand that He keeps your enemies away.
that's right.
We allow, now understand this, we allow the enemy to enter in. He
Right.
actually keeps your enemies away.
Right. That's
We
right.
allow them in by the decisions we make, by the things we do. You understand what I'm saying? And so I'm with you. I'm with you. And the fact that you openly profess and let him know, you get what I'm saying? That
Oh,
he's your greatest inspiration. Michelle, you have no choice but to be successful over and over and over. And I'm so glad to have been connected with you, to have been exposed to the Papi's brand. I'm so grateful for that. Absolutely.
and thank you so much too. It's such an honor and a pleasure to be on your show today. It's such a
Yes.
blessing. So I truly appreciate it.
Yes, yes. Now we're gonna have a little bit of fun as we wind up. You're writing a book about yourself.
Yes.
What do you name it?
Oh my God. You know what? I name it. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. What do I name it? I name it Victorious. I name it Victorious. And I name it Victorious because from everything I've been through. You know, I've been victimized. I've been, you know, we all been through something, but I made it, and victory is here for me. And then also for people that are attached to me, people that are watching, victory is here for all of us. So I say victorious because I'm not going to look behind. I'm going to look ahead to the victory because we headed to our victory, you know. So I feel like that would be the name of it. And I feel like it would have so much meaning to me and all who read it because they would see that, you know, a spoon wasn't put in my hand. I had to make this. I had to create this. I had to fight. I had to struggle. But look at me today, I'm victorious. And I've been through everything you could think of in life. And when I say everything you could think of, I mean it from a standpoint, as a woman, we look at, you know, being, you know, molested and raped and all these different things and violence and domestic violence. I've experienced it all, but I still stand. And I don't stand with a frown. I stand smiling because everything I went through made me the woman I am today. So I call it victorious.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Yes, 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 yes. Guys, this is Michele Dukes, the creator, the founder of Poppies. Yes, Poppies. Poppy's Bourbon. Michele, we thank you so, so, so very much. Guys, go on over to www.poppiesbourbon.com and just shop, get to know the brand, get to know Michele. Michele, thank you so much for being with us tonight. And we definitely appreciate your time.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Have a great evening.
Thank you, and
Poppies.
y'all go to poppiesbourbon.com. Order you some Total Wine. Got that, Poppies? Love you, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Michele.
Thank you.
So, guys, we are closing out the Battle of the MDs. It was amazing. We started off with Michele DiMeo, who is now launching, she'll be launching the Restaurant Diva spirit soon. And then we just closed out with Michele Dukes, who is the CEO and founder of Poppies. Well, it's your girl Lily Mae, and we are closing out. Guys, this is our last episode of It's Consulting Time here for the month of May, and we'll be back the first Tuesday in June. So next Tuesday, tune in to Instagram Live because we have a spectacular lineup coming straight out of Nashville, baby. Peace and love. Have a great evening, everyone.